Sometimes you've got to stop crying about the things you've lost and focus on what you have left, because your miracle is not in the things you have lost. Your miracle is in the things that you have left. Let me share some inspiration from a book I just read by T.D. Jakes, Crushing, that's the title of the book, where he talks about how God can turn pressure into power, where God can crush you to a level where you are ready to be transformed and to be used to do great things. And he says sometimes obscurity is necessary. You need sometimes a period where you just disappear, you just vanish, where you just become invisible, and give God the time, give God the opportunity to prepare you, to train you up, to equip you, give you the necessary tools that you're going to need to accomplish His purpose and His will for your existence, because it's all about God's will. And so through these struggles, many times we think God has really let us down, and many times we ask God, why? Why me? Why did you do this? Why did you let this happen to me? But we have to understand that sometimes that's the period, that vulnerable stage, that state of vulnerability, where you feel like you are nothing. That is the time when the limitations of pride are broken and removed. You become like a baby because you're so vulnerable. You don't have all the money you require. You don't have everything you desire to have. And even the basic necessities of life, you're struggling to get. Like things like food, you're struggling. Shelter, you're struggling to have them. That is the state by which God reigns in. It's amazing how in that moment, in that period, during your lowest time, how things just happen and you yield. You basically just yield. You yield to the guidance of the Holy Spirit, and you begin to listen to God, and you pay attention. If you do pay attention and seek God's guidance and the Spirit of God, allow the Spirit of God to lead you and direct you, you will discover your calling and you begin to function in it. And once you've learned how to ignore the circumstances around you and focus on what God has called you to do, it doesn't matter what's going on around you, provision will always be made available. And T.D. Jakes mentioned something that really moved me. He said, sometimes you've got to stop crying about the things you've lost and focus on what you have left, because your miracle is not in the things you have lost. Your miracle is in the things that you have left. And that's why God asked Moses, what do you have in your hands? What is that you have in your hand? And that's what God used to empower Moses to deliver the Israelites from Egypt. And when he talks about obscurity, he mentions how that Jesus stayed in obscurity for 30 years before he came onto the scene. And indeed, the life of Jesus as we know it from the scriptures starts when he's 30. We don't know anything about his life before 30. So that period the period before 30, God was preparing him. He was preparing him. And when he was ready, it took him only 3 years to accomplish his mission, and he was out of here. So don't complain, don't cry, don't worry so much if things are not working out for you, because I can also testify to this, that I have gone to the lowest and to the deepest pit. I've been tested to the core, lost everything, but here I am. I'm back from obscurity, ready, fully equipped with everything God requires me to have to accomplish his mission. So it's always for a reason if you care to listen and seek God during that period. All right? So be a student of the word. Read, study the word day and night. Meditate on it and train yourself to listen to God when he talks to you. Don't be the one talking all the time. Have those moments where you just listen to God and allow him to talk to you. And the other examples of people that went into obscurity before they became ready to do great things. Joseph, for example, his brothers, they sold him into slavery. And then he went as a slave into Egypt and stayed in prison. Nobody knew him. He was a nobody. But when he emerged out of that prison, God had empowered him. He was ready. He was ready to do what he did. So that's the inspiration I wanted to share with you today. I hope that you get some value out of it, and I hope that it encourages you to stay strong and stay focused and know that God has not forgotten about you, but he's working out something for you, and he's going to use this pressure that you're experiencing now and turn it into power for you to do great things and to fulfill your mission and purpose for your life. God bless you.